Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Stef,
I'm Sadie.
And I'm Jay.
and this week's episode is Smile, which is why I'm smiling so hard my face hurts. Okay, so first I want to talk about the promotion for this movie when it was coming out because it was so good. They had people in like sporting events, random places in public, pose just smiling like this.
See, and nope.
That's
That's a cue for me
it's
to
the
leave.
Kubrick stare.
I love
You know,
it.
it's the
Yeah. Oh,
The
we're
cute-
I don't
gonna
have
play,
eyebrows to look
baby.
through, but imagine.
I feel bad for you. Do you want us to draw some for you?
Please.
Okay.
But let's not get off topic. Smile.
Sadie's an artist, so Jay needs some eyebrows.
Okay. I
Okay.
do too, so.
So I saw this movie months
Mhm.
ago, like at the end of last year. I saw it in an advanced screening, and I was by myself, so I was like shriveled into a corner because I didn't want anybody to talk to me. But people who were doing promo for this movie were asking people to pose like that too. They're like, all right, give me your best smile. And I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
It's so I feel like that makes the movie better when there's like this whole like build up immersive experience. It kind of reminds me of those videos when like the new Chucky was coming out and they would like scare people at bus stops and stuff and shit like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
They needed that because especially for something like Chucky, because it's an established franchise and you have your people who are like die hard.
It's the people that work in promotion of horror films that are like they do their
Just
job.
They know what they're
kiss.
doing.
They really
They know
they
what they're doing.
really know what they're doing. They know what we like, okay? And this
Right.
movie was like nothing short of like a phenomenon. Like it was a wonderful experience. I think that this, besides Bones and All, I think that this was my favorite pre-screening that I've ever done. And Bones and All, that's not my fault. I
Right.
was in a vulnerable place in the romance. The romantic cannibalism got me. I will not apologize for that. Thank you.
No need to. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but like I don't know. This one I watched it going not knowing what to expect at all because I had only ever seen like one preview, and I was like, that looks silly, and it was not.
The
Silly.
previews are misleading, and I feel like there's no way really to encompass what this is all about.
So much.
It's not even the story
No.
or like the actual visuals. It's the sound design as well as so
Yeah,
unnerving.
it's just so eerie the whole time with the way the sound. I was just like, what is happening? I feel like I'm losing my mind while I am
And
watching.
the way it's shot is so good. Like at the start, Steph's opening another one. Like the when the ambulance first comes in, it pans up to the
Yes.
to the door.
Uh-huh.
But then after she sees the smile entity, it follows her car, but it pans up so that
Upside down. And
yeah,
there's like upside down shots.
her world has been turned upside down.
I
Yeah.
love that. And there's also this shot after the first like death that happens
Yeah.
when they ask her like, well, like about what did she look like? And she said, well,
Yeah.
she was smiling, and they
And the blood.
immediately hard cut to that white sheet with the
smile.
bloody smile. Oh, and it's so good. Like this is the shit that I live for.
What blows me is like someone is about to do that in front of you. I wouldn't watch. Like, you know, like I
No.
couldn't look. And I know
So-
that's
I
like
did.
a job, but I
Yeah.
would be like screaming with my eyes closed, crying in a corner. Like,
I
I'm not
know.
watching this.
I think she waited a little bit too long to go for the Powerpuff Girls phone in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. she did.
But also, like, who puts something breakable that can be used as a weapon in a psych ward?
In an
You know what
emergency.
I wanted to say?
In an
psych ward.
emergency room, yeah.
It's an emergency room, and then there's also like that little area where she does the interviews. From personal experience, it is never that fucking nice in there. Like,
But that's the same kind of effect when you look at movies like Halloween and they have those shots in the hospital and it's dimly lit and flickering. That's not realistic. That's not what
Right.
hospitals look like. It just isn't, and it's added for effect. But I'm not mad about it. I'm not
No,
mad
I
about
like
it at
this
all.
like
No.
cozy atmosphere. I was like, I wish mine looked like that. I might have been a little less pissy
You
about
know,
it.
yeah, it's very comforting, and also her,
Mm,
she gives comfort. You know, she's
right.
very
She
like,
does.
I'm for you. Like, you know, the
And
At their
thing
level.
that gets
and
me the first
Kumar.
no, stop it. Dr. Kumar.
Of
Right.
course, no. Dr. Doogie Howser. Yes.
Put some
He also
respect.
works there.
Yes, it starts immediately with her, and it's and I the first that I have is this sentence: I know it feels real, but it can't hurt you. And for people who are like mentally ill, this
Yeah.
movie has a lot of, I feel like, shit that may rock you harder than if you're not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um
Yeah.
absolutely. I think while I was sitting there, I'm just like, I feel all of this. And like,
Yes, because
where
their
you can,
reactions and their conversations, they feel incredibly realistic to me,
yes,
you know?
absolutely.
Oh my
Especially
gosh.
when she's like, you have to believe me. You have to. I'm not lying. I'm not crazy. And everyone's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you
that
are.
Because
I
and,
hear
and
that
it's
in
been
my
flipped on her.
chest. And I love how the first girl, Laura, her just, she's only seen this girl for a couple of minutes, and she, you know, she does this crazy shit in front of her. For Laura to immediately be like, I've been here before. You're not fucking listening to me. And then for it to go later for where she's trying to talk to her husband, who's A-Train from The
That's what I
Boys.
said when I saw his face
Not
when he
fucking
walked in the room. I was
A-Train.
like, A-Train.
What are
Like,
you
what
doing
the fuck
here?
are you doing here? I
I
know
did
he's
want to
about to be a piece of shit in this movie. I just
I
know
did want to talk about him because he the way he reacts to this whole thing reminds me of just the concept of Nope.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
he's like, I'm not fucking with this at all. No,
I
you're
know, but
seeing
Yeah,
it.
but then it's the way he like,
respectfully,
yeah. Go ahead.
respectfully, first of all, he married a white woman.
Right.
Not yet.
First of
No,
all.
fiance. Fiance.
Well, he proposed to a
Going
white
to.
woman, first of all. And then, like, throughout the history of our podcast, we have had many, many conversations about the husband who doesn't fucking listen. And my thing is,
Right.
when you propose to someone, you marry someone, you make certain promises. This world is not black and white.
Right.
And these vows are for better or for worse. So whether she's having a mental break or there is an actual entity that's trying to end her life, you fucking listen. You don't
That's what
ambush
I
her with
was
her
saying.
therapist.
I
It's
yeah, I
like,
didn't appreciate that. I was
no, it
like,
was
you called
fucking
her
bullshit.
therapist, or when she found out that he like looked up all that stuff about her
If it's
mom, what he was
hereditary,
getting into, I was like, what?
immediately take your fucking ring back. This is Jerry Springer. I'll do it on
Right,
my
get
own.
out of my house.
Right.
Like,
Speaking
no.
of Hereditary,
Oh,
I love that this film also has some horror references. Like
Mm,
whenever she's burning the big
demon thing.
monster,
Mm.
um, it that's Hereditary. That's what happened in Hereditary as well. The
I just
visuals are so similar.
and the visuals are so good. There's just so many things that I like. I really love about
Mhm.
this movie. And that I've loved from the first watch. Um, I love that her ex is a cop, and it
Yeah,
happened
So
to be the cop that, and also the actor. I just fucking love this guy. I love
that guy
him.
is hot. Mr. wears a sweatshirt with everything.
I love it.
I was like, are
we
you
love a
not
short king.
hot?
We love a short king.
He is hot. Okay.
Okay, well, yeah, physically and like actually, because I'm like every scene, this man has a sweatshirt, a hoodie on,
Physically and
and then he'll throw a
aesthetically,
jacket over it. I'm
I
like,
peeped it. You know,
And
he likes to be
she's
comfortable
she
and professional.
fair
and
enough.
she's taller than him, isn't she?
She
Like
is.
she's looking down at him at one point. I'm like, we love a short king. I like
We
that
I
this
love
love
a
a
short
short
king.
king. I love everything about the dynamic. And what I really love is like later down the line, she thinks that she's having this come to Jesus moment with him.
Mhm.
You can tell that there's all this like unresolved shit between them,
Right.
when he comes to check on her
Mhm.
the next day, which I fucking love. He's obviously still in love with her. He hasn't moved on. I love it. And she has a vulnerable but fake moment with him where she's like, Straight up.
That broke my heart because she was finally talking about like bringing her walls down, and it
Yes.
turns
And
out
it was
she's
a
just like
fucking
hallucinating.
monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we get to see that, and I feel like he's seen that all along, which is why he's agreed to help her, because if my ex came to me and needed my police expertise to keep him from being eaten by a monster, he can go fuck himself.
Same.
Respectfully.
We could
Take
just
to
say
that.
all exes in general who are shitty, I would never help
Go
you.
Yep.
fuck yourself.
Yes,
Like
agreed.
we don't know each other. You're dead to me.
No, but I
How
never got that vibe from him.
No.
how gut wrenchingly horrible is the sister?
Oh, I wanted to
Oh,
murder her so bad.
The
because she
sister
was
who
the one who
taught
got
her
to.
little who taught her little white child to say gracias in the most
Right.
white American ask way possible.
She's also just so vapid and just like,
Yes.
oh my God.
Yes.
And I get like she got out first. She's trying to like move on and live a life. Like, could you try being a better person maybe and not
Yes.
just like the worst?
And sympathize with the sister who didn't get to leave and was there
Right.
at the end and had to deal with all of this guilt and like all of that stuff. Man, this is like Hereditary. I love a movie where there's just like all this like unhealed trauma and that they have to work through.
I think that's really what came through for me is just like the underlying theme of trauma.
Yes.
Because like
And the
everyone
sister's head like this.
Yeah, that too. Holy shit. I didn't expect that. I was like, why is she running out? And then I dropped my drink and I almost cried. But like no, it's just like the thing feeds off of someone else watching a traumatic event. So like I feel like the whole underlying thing of this is trauma. But what drove me is weird is like when she goes to see the guy in prison and he's like, I got out of it by killing someone instead of killing myself. And I was like, well, that makes sense in that scheme too, because there's always those people who have their issues that don't want to take responsibility and make it somebody's fucking problem.
Oh my God. Like that really, oh my gosh, that really got me to my core. I just feel like this movie has so many like layers to it. Don't get me wrong, I love trash horror movies where it's like you just go in, it is what it is. But I also love movies like this that really make you think and that really drag you through the fucking trenches with the main character.
Yeah. Like I said, I felt like I was losing my mind on my own couch. I was like, what is happening?
I did. And they do so well with like the transitions and their choices of cut scenes and lighting, okay, with making you feel like you don't really know at any point what's happening because you fucking don't. You really
and again,
don't.
The audio design is so beautiful in this film. Like it's so unnerving and it gets under your skin. And then the last song starts playing. It's lollipop, lollipop.
I know. I was like, at the end of the credits when lollipop came on, the first words that came out of my mouth were "fuck you, fuck you." Why would you do that?
Fuck you.
Exactly.
We were the same. We were the same. Okay.
Yeah. No, my husband was like, "What?" I'm like, "Fuck you,"
Absolutely.
and I walked out. I was like, "I can't do this." But yeah, no, it was crazy to me. I think the first scene that really got me is like after what happened with the girl in the hospital and she's like listening to that recording and like hear the little voice,
the EVP thing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's right in her fucking ear. I was like,
I love that.
I did too, but
I think it's like I love a tasteful artistic fucking jump scare. Get off me.
There were jump scares, but they were like super unexpected.
Yes. Perfect. Because there are movies that will like cheap you out and they'll do like the basic shit and they're like, oh, this will sell. We're professionals.
Right. Especially the scene in your picture, like I thought she was really coming out to be like, can you leave or something else? And it was just her and I was like,
my butthole puckered when her head fell down like that. I was like, eek!
I felt so bad because like you see her screaming in her car and it just cuts to the little boy.
The little boy.
Traumatized with a dead cat.
like
Oh,
different layers of like generational trauma, okay?
Right.
Because even if this entity ever goes away, that boy needs so much therapy.
Right.
The
He's
dead
been
the dead
he needs-
mustache in the box
Right.
really fucked
yes,
me up the first time I
Schrodinger's
watched it.
cat. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she immediately is like, I need you all to believe that I didn't do, like, the desperation in that moment, and then for her to crash through the glass table. There was just so much happening.
That little pause before she started screaming, like
Yes.
I felt that.
That also, I think, really took away from her credibility as a character whenever she's like, I'm not crazy, because she has all the cuts on her wrists. It looks like
Yeah.
she's harmed.
Yeah, and then when she's
so
like
good.
making moves after that, she's got the bandages, and like when she goes to knock on Trevor's door, she's like, "Oh my god, like I have to, I have to cover these." Like, hey man, whose heart that I fucking broke, I need you to do illegal police business on your day off for me, and you can't ask me any.
And I promise I'm not crazy. Just do what I say.
Just do what I
Like,
said. He obviously loves the shit out of her.
Well, you know, she's gonna get him killed.
Okay, but like,
yeah.
okay, when they're, first of all, the lore in this, like, you don't understand the origin, but that's okay because the pattern is very crisp. The pattern is laid down. They go through it together, and then they find the man who broke the pattern in the one link. And you know, she tries to be mysterious, but this man is a cop and he figures it out on his own, and he's like, what are we gonna do about this? I thought, I love that scene in the jail because she knows better than to tell him that it's her that has the thing, you know.
Freaking out, like,
yeah,
back, get away from me.
He's like, no fucking, I can imagine what he's experiencing in the moment. I mean, he traded like death for living life in prison. He's like, this is better, just for you to bring it back over here. Like, that's fucking shitty.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
But also, Gabriel Munoz's widow,
Carla, yeah,
Carla,
from Scrubs.
She was so good in this scene.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about that. Where she's like, "I'm a reporter." She's asking all these questions. She's like, "Well, wouldn't you know that?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're not doing a good job. You look like a crazy person in this lady's house."
Kumar pulled me out of it a little bit. Like, you are not a doctor, but Carla is. I saw her originally and I was like, are you gonna do the same thing? No. Her performance was fantastic.
Out of this world.
I didn't expect to see Kumar in it, but like,
I forgot he was in it.
As far as like,
he's no one else. He's Kumar. He's Kumar.
Dr. Kumar.
Kumar. But like, as far as tertiary doctor characters go that just show up when shit hits the fan, I guess whatever. But
true, but like, all of his scenes I thought were really good too, because she kept showing up in places that she wasn't supposed to be. Like, I feel like it's very
professional to be what's going on.
Yes, especially because like, if you're doing something that's standard, even though it's an emergency psych unit, when someone literally is smiling in your face and cuts their throat in front of you, you need to take some fucking time off, girlfriend.
Exactly.
You need to. It's normal. You're a human being and you're not treating yourself with the same care that you would dictate to your patients. And he sees that. And I feel like he's a very good, like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, character.
It's obviously not normal. Like, you need to do something.
Because she looks fucking psychotic every time she shows up. And then the last time when she had a big ass butcher's knife just chilling in her passenger seat, I'd have been like, whoa, pull the emergency brake. You're coming with me. Like,
he was trying.
He was trying hard.
I'd have jumped in the window. I'm like, bitch, you are not.
She rolled that shit up and was like, skirt, skirt.
But she rolled that shit up because she saw your man with the blood coming out of his mouth. She was freaked out.
Catatonic Carl, who she had fantasies about killing and ending the cycle. Carl didn't do shit to her. Because she's like, who's the most...
We need to talk about this, Rose. Do not, if you have to kill someone to get this thing off your back, don't kill someone you know. Don't kill one of your
No,
patients
killing homeless.
because
I'm
they're gonna
sorry.
link it back to you.
Not that I condone killing homeless people. That's fucked up. But like, if you're going to do like, also like you got an entity on your back. You know what I mean? That's doing shit like this. You know, it you got to think kind of outside the box.
Steph, you went full Criminal Minds there.
I'm
But I
We'll
feel like
we'll have
drinking.
less of it.
I
We'll have
think the
less
only
of it.
reason he thought about Carl is because like he's in and out of there, he's got the same problems, that kind of shit, and like maybe she's like, well, he's a lost cause in her head somehow anyway, it can't be that bad. But I'm like,
Yeah, but like
I get it, but like, what are you gonna do?
take him
Walk
out.
into the hospital and stab him in the chest, and everything's gonna be fine? They're
No,
going to wonder why he's stabbed in the chest.
right,
Mm.
exactly.
There's video. You
Well, the
work
thing is
there.
like she wouldn't be able to do it without an audience anyway, because the whole
No.
point is if she kills somebody, someone else has to witness it. Otherwise, you just killed that dude for no fucking reason.
Right. So she figures that out and she's like, great, all I have to do is just fucking be alone. My thought, I think it's a really good thought process. Mine would be like, all right, nobody's survived longer than a week. What will happen to this thing if I hide out in the countryside in my childhood home, confronting my past childhood traumas for longer than a week? Will it die? Will it get weak? You know?
It's a good thought process, but it seems that like none of that really matters in the end because it fucks with your mind so much that
Well, yeah, and I don't think that whatever this entity is cares about her curing anything or healing anything within her. I think it's one of those things. It's like, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to continue the cycle as it does.
Yeah, because it crawls inside her and takes control. Like, it didn't
scene
matter
made
that she
me-
was out in the country. She just had to go find someone and make them watch her kill herself.
That scene of that thing fucking like crawling. Oh my
Okay, listen, there's two scenes that were just like super fucking memorable and like messed me up about this movie. And one of them was this one in my background because like, I don't know, I just feel like I don't see shit like this really very often, and it was good to me. But then the other one was burned into the back of my subconscious. Is, first of all, she's a silly bitch thinking that she could just light this thing on fire and she's good to go. That's silly. That's
what my husband said. He's like, that's not the end of it. That's not how this works.
No, you silly bitch. Somebody else would have thought of that within 20 links in this chain.
Someone would have tried to kill it.
Hello? Okay, but then also this thing ripping its fucking face off, and it's got like all those rows of teeth, and then it pulls her mouth open, and when it crawls inside, I literally was in the theater with my fucking mouth open, clutching my purse. I was like,
it was climbing
on my couch,
you.
like, oh my god, oh my fucking god, oh
nothing
no.
can climb inside me. I'm protected. Thank you very much.
I like how they made it, because it's not like just like a possession. They made it like a real physical, visceral
entity, yes,
experience,
like a thing that's going to, and I'm
just gonna fly right in here. Let me just scooch right in. Thank you.
I want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
From inside.
The call's coming from inside your body.
It's like, oh, sorry, your lungs in the way, but like,
let me just.
Right.
When she's walking away from like the house burning behind her, all I could think of, Steph, was the Evil Dead episode we did of Jean Levy walking away and like the whole thing burning. I was like, no, this isn't the end. There has to be another twist. There has to be.
It's not giving Final Girl. It's not.
No, I was like, it's just too easy. Like,
yes.
Again, I feel like if that was the case, someone would have already fucking done that, and it wouldn't work. And it's it's an entity, but it's also like feeds on minds, and if it's in your brain, just because you set whatever you see on fire, that doesn't mean shit.
And then this movie ends literally the way the shit begins, because you said, the magic thing, like, I'm not gonna watch this shit. Like, she doesn't look away. She doesn't get to the phone fast enough. She's literally frozen. And this man He's finally reconnected with the woman that he thought he lost. He feels like he's got there in time to save her, and she's doused in fucking gasoline and smiling at him like a psychopath, and all he can do is sit there and fucking watch while she lights herself on fire.
And it pissed me off because I was like, you know what the chain
Get
is.
out of there.
Look at her.
Get out of there. Get out of there. But then
Look.
I'm just like, okay, what if I'm in this situation? I don't love a man, but imagine I'm in this situation and it's Elle and I'm trying to save her and this bitch is doused in gasoline and smiling at me and I'm like, take me to then, I guess. I'm not.
Yeah, what do you have after that? You're already
right. Not my best friend. Fuck you. We're going out together, baby.
It just made me mad because I was like, dude, don't look, don't watch. Like, I know, just turn around. Don't
literally. But then I'm like, that has to be so horrific. First of all, who knows what this fucking house smells like? Okay.
She tries to turn the lights on. I'm like, girl, do you see where you're at? There's no power here.
Have you been paying the light bill, Megan? I don't think so.
Right.
The flashback, I was disgusted with myself because of the flashback, because it pans down to like the bottle of wine and the pills on the floor, and I was like, I fucking know that brand of wine.
Oh no.
Well,
I don't know.
is it a good one?
Right.
Alright.
I was just like, and then like the monster being her mom, and she's like talking to her mom, and then you find out that like she didn't call 911. She kind of just let it happen.
That's a huge thing. She was 10 years old, and so then there's going to be this huge debate. Old enough to know better to just call 911, but also a child who's terrified of this monster who is her mother and wants it to end. Like that's a huge fucking like moral debate.
Yeah, it's like, how can you really blame her? Because I mean,
I just don't.
Mom did what she did, but did you really expect like a 7 or however old she was at the time?
A child.
Yeah, a child to really fix it, you know?
No, and her mom was tasked to take care of her. Obviously didn't do that. Her sister fucking left. She wasn't there in the end. What is a 10-year-old baby to do?
She wanted out, and she saw an out in her head as a child, and I get that totally. Sometimes you're just like, this might make me a bad person, but I don't know what else to do because she's just gonna do it again, you know?
And there are adults who don't know how to fix that situation, because if people are unwilling to get help, you can't make them. So what is a 10-year-old baby to do?
Exactly.
And unlike her sister, she spends the rest of her life trying to make up for that, because she tries to help people with their And I know she felt bad about you're just a PTA mom who lives in a little self-centered bubble, but it's facts. You're saying facts, sis.
You said what needed to be said. Your sister is fucking insufferable.
Every time she goes off at someone in this film, she immediately apologizes.
Okay, I want to talk about that really quick, because when she's yelling at A-Train because she's like, you're my fiance, you're the person I said yes to spending the rest of my life with, okay? After I had this incredibly meaningful relationship with a hot cop who was taking my walls down and I fucking ran away, okay? I chose you. I need your help. I'm in danger. I'm terrified. And he's like, no, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Right.
And then she's like, this is, I'm not fucking crazy. And she's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. He should be sorry.
Right. I get that response though. I lose it, and then I'm like, sorry, and I'm like, what the fuck am I apologizing for? I didn't do anything.
But it's like she's talking, like you said, as someone with familial trauma. She thinks, or at least A-Train thinks, that she has the similar mental health illness. You're just smiling because I said A-Train, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes. Affirmative.
He thinks that she has the same mental illness as her mother. And she's self-diagnosing herself. She's saying, "Oh, could I have this medication?" Like, she's going to therapy herself, but she knows everything the therapist is saying.
The therapist pissed me off. Just give her the fucking drugs.
Right, just give her the drugs. You can tell the bitch ain't sleeping. She's having a tough time.
Oh, like, that was the other thing. The therapist, like, as the smile entity going up and holding her face, and like just the drool dripping out of the mouth.
Uh-huh.
Stef, Alien.
I know.
That shit threw
That's
me
the
for a
xenomorph.
loop. That threw me
Yeah.
for a loop. She was having a whole conversation and the phone rings. She's
Because
like,
the whole time I'm thinking, what's the worst thing that happens if this thing gets you? Like, gets to
right.
you.
Mhm. It's
But
just that it was traumatizing her. That's really it.
Well,
it
yeah.
needs the trauma. It wants the trauma.
It's more like Pennywise in that sense, in that it feeds off the fear first. It really relishes in the torture of the
Mhm.
person
Yeah,
before
because
it
it doesn't
kills them.
take you immediately. It's like the ring. It's like you got 7
Right,
days.
right,
Not
right,
doing
right. Yeah,
anything
yeah.
any
It does. It
sooner.
was like, oh, it's almost time,
And
Rose.
and it's
Right.
not like
Fuck you.
it's not like he's trying to possess them or it's trying to possess them either, because as soon as it does, it kills them. The
Exactly.
body.
It wants to wait. It wants to have a little fun. It wants to make you question everything, up the trauma level. So then whenever it's passed on to someone else, it's just worse and worse and worse.
And it is passed on. So you're right.
Yeah.
This is a film about like maybe familial trauma, but
And
also like
generational and
generational trauma.
situational.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You guys, I just hit the wall where I'm drunk.
You just hit the really, Steph. Really.
I'm literally drinking chai. It is
I'm going to
1:30
open
p.m. on a
Upstream
Saturday.
Tangerine.
Yeah,
We are
it's
not
2:30.
sponsored.
Yeah, no, I just woke up not that
Tink.
long ago because I was up. I was like coffee first or chai first. I don't know.
I did a full day of work, so I deserve this.
Period.
Yeah, but no, yeah, the therapist scene threw me for a loop. That was crazy. And then he eventually, when he shows up at the cabin, I'm like, well, obviously they'd known each other well enough that he knows where she would have went, which is very
Mhm.
sweet. But also, get out of there.
Literally,
Like,
I'm trying to save your fucking life, idiot.
right.
Mhm.
Trying to save us
Are you-
It
both.
was whenever he goes in and she's just like dumping the kerosene on herself.
Mhm.
That sort of spooky, almost Blair Witch. She's not looking at him and turns around slowly with a
I
big
would
grin on her face.
literally piss my pants.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
I did not like that at all.
No.
That drove me nuts. I just
The
hated
only-
that she thought she got out of there, and I was like, "This is a fucking fever dream." Because I thought we were free. It reminds me of like the original ending of The Descent, where you really thought she was like,
Don't talk to me about the descent.
but she wasn't. And yeah, I'm
Um,
not gonna talk about it briefly, but just like the original ending, not the theatrical release one, where she really thought she was out, but she was never out.
The only scene that I really like was like I don't like this was whenever she was hallucinating killing Carl because
Yeah.
And
she's
she's
doing this
stabbing
and they
him.
both start screaming.
It was
and then
very
Yeah.
midsummer.
Kumar starts screaming. It's like, ah.
It was very midsummer where all the ladies are screaming together in feminine rage.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
It
like,
is.
poor Carl, you already put him through enough because you thought he was about to attack you, and the man
Literally.
was like just in bed.
He's just minding
you
his
brought up-
business being ill.
Because you brought up A25, Steph, this is a gorgeous film. Like this is an art house
Stunning.
piece.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
This whole thing, because there's horror we watch on this podcast that is just like
Grimy.
cheesy shit, and it knows it's cheesy
Grimy.
shit.
but this was beautiful in like the worst
This was
way.
gorgeous.
It's
I liked
it's literally up
I
there
ended
and
up-
like
I
ahead,
liked it
Sadie.
more than I thought I was going to like
Mhm.
it by the time we got to the end of it. I was
Yeah.
like, this was great. Am I
Mhm.
mad as fuck that I had to watch this because I'm scared? But like, yes, but it was really good.
One last thing I want to talk about,
Mhm.
because we're running out of time.
Yeah,
The girl that plays Laura, the girl that kills herself at the start,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
spitting image of the girl that plays Laura or X-23 in Logan. She looks like an older version of her,
She
She
does.
and she's also called Laura. Coincidence? I think not.
We're in the same.
I don't
universe.
believe in coincidence. I like to pretend everything is related just because, and not just
mean,
because I'm drunk.
There's nothing.
Why
There's
wouldn't-
nothing that says this isn't the X-Men universe.
My headcanon is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Go on.
Ripley for president.
Sigourney Weaver for president.
Yes, absolutely.
Only in
if she can be,
fancies. And an unshaved
listen,
bush.
if Ronald Reagan can do it, she can do it.
Fair enough.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I don't know. Overall, not the worst like a movie I've seen in a while. It's actually one of the best ones I think I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It gave me very like it gave me very barbarian feels, but like with a different sort of theme.
yes.
You know?
Because Barbarian throws you for a fucking loop. Like it was not.
But it's also based on something that's like very real and very visceral.
Like realistic,
and, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
can't
love that
really
for
say-
both of those movies, the trailer gives you fucking nothing. Nothing.
Right, yeah. It gave me nothing. So I was like, this is gonna be dumb. It was not dumb. I was just like, okay.
Coming to this from Event Horizon, I was sort of like, oh yeah, action, to like, oh, this is a sad thing about mental health. Like that transition for me was a little jarring, but they're both great films.
Still better than Event Horizon. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah,
There's no sexy
this
ships,
Event
but,
Horizon
like,
was good. This is fantastic.
No, it's a really good one. I would say kudos to everyone who had something to do with that, especially the actors, because to have to play those types of roles,
except for A-Train.
Hard.
You can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GITM Podcast. You can also find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding.
I'm not Sadee. I'm on Twitter at Sadee B.
You can find me at J Rafferty Poet. We will not be drunk next time.
No,
well,
I can't promise. Okay, bye.